Okay, we are talking mega distribution centers a la Walmart. Canadian Tire is opening a big one in Quebec. And to talk about it, we have Rick Pennycook, President and Retail Development Consultant of the Lakeshore Group. Welcome back to the program, sir.
Good to be here, Howard.
So why are retailers like Loblaw, which was in the news for a lot of this earlier in the year, and Canadian Tire consolidating these warehouses into mega centers?
All about efficiency. That's where they're trying to squeeze the more money out of the system now. Name of the game in retailing now, because the margins are so low, is logistics and demographics, and trying to be very efficient in those areas.
And does it work? And if so, who does it best?
It works. Huge amount of capital involved. Canadian Tire, certainly excellent job of it. Walmart, of course, does an excellent job of it.
Are they the best?
It's hard to say who's the best, but I mean, you know, you rarely hear of stories about Walmart not having particular goods on the shelves. I mean, that's where it comes through.
Because they scare the death out of their suppliers?
Absolutely, and that's part of this whole logistics change as well. The retailers are requiring their suppliers to have systems as good or better so that they can plug into the warehouse and know when their stock is getting low and make sure it gets there on time. If it doesn't get there on time, they get penalized.
So these centers, I mean, how big are they?
Well, they can range anywhere from, you know, depends on the size of the retailer, but, you know, a decent sized one is 500,000 square feet. The one that Canadian Tire is building is 1.5 million. So it's a big distribution center. And
given the way Canada is so spread out over a, you know, small population, huge. It's different than the U.S. Does the necessarily work here because of that?
It does. Again, they're leveraging a lot of technology as well. So the trucking industry, which is an integral part of the logistics side of things, they're using satellite technology. So they know where a truck is at any given time, on any given road, what goods are in that truck, how many down to the number of slacks, where it's going, how far it is from the warehouse. So all of that is being integrated for efficiencies, and the same with rail as well. So it makes sense to have 3 or 4 large centers in Canada, and then use this other technology, satellite technology, GPS systems, to deal with goods in transit.
So this one that Canadian Tire is building or has built, the cost of that is what?
Well, I don't know the construction cost, but they expect to spend $200 million on this facility over its lifetime, and they're expecting in 2009. It's going to take about 2 years to get up and running.
And so what would the expected return on investment be from that center? Do they break it out that way?
Well, they do, but I mean, in my line of work, I don't get into it in that sort of detail. But the reason that they're doing it is to become more efficient, because greater efficiency goes directly to the bottom line. That's what it's all about.
And so what about the Loblaw situation? What have you been hearing? I mean, are they starting to get it together on that front?
Well, it's been quiet, but, there's an academic out of the U.S. that studies logistics issues, and they say when there's a major logistics problem, it takes about 2 years to get out of it. And Loblaw is about a year into that. I mean, it was a major problem that they had. They were in the process of consolidating smaller ones, building larger centers, and they just couldn't integrate at the right time. But also Loblaw's in the department store goods at the same time. So there's a different source pattern than getting bananas as opposed to getting slacks and patio furniture. All of those things have to work like clockwork to get into the store on time.
So with a 2-year fix-up on something like that, if this person is correct, what's the cost-benefit analysis on it? Is it worth it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they know how much they're spending right now, and they know how much they'll be able to save by doing this consolidation and this very high-tech system. It's not going to have a lot of employees in there, a lot of computer analysis and computer software, making sure goods are coming in and getting out to the stores.
What about technology? I understand, is it Walmart that's using this new tracking technology, RFID?
RFID. A number of retailers are using it. Some are just using it in the warehouse right now. But Walmart is also requiring a number of its suppliers to use our technology and giving them to the distribution center centers can, on their computers, know when their stock, the retailer's stock is getting low and when they have to get a truck over there by 10 o'clock the next morning or pay a penalty.
So what about privacy issues with RFIDs? Are there?
Yeah, I think that there are, because the RFID tag stores a tremendous amount of information, and if you make the purchase with a credit card or a loyalty card, all of a sudden what Howard Green has purchased can be linked directly to Howard Green. Before, when it was just aggregated, they knew they sold 30 pairs of slacks last month. Now they know Howard Green bought 2, what colors they were. And so definitely there are privacy issues.
Just to finish up, what about outsourcing these warehouses and these systems? Is there any point in that?
Well, outsourcing the operations?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's a area. The Canadian distribution center in Quebec be run by an outsourced company.
Which one?
Tibbet in Britain.
Tibbet in Britain.
Yep.
And do they trade publicly?
I don't know.
No?
I don't know.
All right. Well, we'll leave it there. We'll check. Fascinating discussion. Thanks for coming in to see us.
Thanks for having me back.
That is Rick Pennycook, President and Retail Development Consultant with the Lakeshore Group. Coming up.